Hello everyone, how's it going? Yeah, hopefully this will be an awesome one. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So this is, well, I'll wait a minute here before I start talking aloud. I want to get most of the people in here, let them join in, let them come in. But I'm going to finish the sketch here. I was trying to get it done before this started, but I couldn't. Had a lot of stuff to do right before this stream, so all right. Throw some paint down. Well, I gotta draw it first, then we'll throw some paint down. Okay. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody's day been? What's today? Tuesday or something? So I'm just quickly getting some kind of loose sketch. So what I'm doing today, it's a little different than normal. I always try to mix it up a little bit. And the reason it's different, or the way that it's different today, is that the photograph I'm using is very bad photograph. It's very small. I can kind of barely see any details. It's basically a photo I took while I was in England 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. And I was using my GoPro, basically my Sony Action Cam, which is basically a GoPro. And it's from very far away, so I can barely see this castle. But what I'm doing is I'm using my Plein Air. I painted this on location one morning. So I'm using this as the reference for like the colors and the values. Maybe this needs to be a little bit darker and stuff, but this is going to be my overall theme. And I'm just using the photo as kind of a guide for the drawing aspect a bit. And this is an old castle in ruins. So that's the plan for today, is kind of making a larger painting from a smaller sketch that I did on location. So that should be pretty cool, I think, something different. Something different than I've done before thus far on this live stream. So I'm just trying to keep the sketch pretty loose here. I want to have some fun with this one, as always trying to have some fun. No, you're not late. I just started at 5:10 or whatever hour you're at. I started on 10. Wednesday morning, where a lot of people are already. Hopefully Wednesday morning is looking pretty good. So you guys come from the future can tell me how Wednesday is looking. So this will be pretty cool, hopefully. Get a lot of like cool mixed colors and stuff happening. This was a pretty cool castle. You know, I got to climb to the top of it and see all the architecture on the inside. It's all broken down. It was a really cool experience, really different. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. That's for sure. So somebody from Pennsylvania, somebody from Turkey. It's really cool. Glad to see everybody from different places, as always, from around the world. So if anybody doesn't know, my name is Brandon Schaefer, and been drawing my whole life, basically. Been painting for about 10 years now. I first started in watercolor, and I only did it for about a year, from 2009 to 2010 or 11. While I was in college. Then I went to acrylic painting in 2011. And then I tried oil painting in 2015, 16. And now I'm back to doing watercolors for almost 2 years now. So that's where I'm at right now. And doing a lot of pen and ink as well, pen and ink drawings. Yeah, I'm in Northern California, so yeah, everybody's in my future basically. Too far west. I'd be much more west if I was in Hawaii, though. I wouldn't mind being there right now. Wow, 3:15 a.m. in Turkey. That is quite early. I believe that's a.m. That's very early. So thanks for tuning in that early. All right, I think I'm going to get started here. I think we got enough information down to kind of figure something out. Looks pretty cool, I think. Let's see, we got a little pathway that goes all the way across the painting. That's kind of cool. It's a nice little lead in to the painting or something. You know, diagonals are really good in a painting because they lead you through the painting. So there's not much here to really lead us through the painting, but it should be cool still. So we got some hills here. Boom. And there's actually a little flag up here, but I might try to squeeze that in or something if I can. All right, let's try to, so with watercolor, I got to try to plan out here the plan of attack. So obviously we're going to start with light colors. I might do the sky first, and then I'll do the ground. That way I'll let the sky be able to dry while I'm painting the ground and the foreground and stuff, and then I can paint the castle into the sky. It won't be that big of a deal. Let's try that out, I guess. So here's a look at my palette. I have not wet my colors yet, unfortunately. I forgot about that. Didn't have time. So we got Indian yellow, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium red, transparent red oxide, viridian, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue that is almost gone, and ivory black here at the end. And then down here we have yellow ochre, cobalt teal, I believe. And these are all M. Graham brand paints, M. Graham. Another transparent red oxide here. Dioxazine purple, or some kind of purple, I think. Cadmium yellow medium once again. Alizarin crimson here. Viridian and ultramarine blue again. So really nice palette of colors. Helps me get a full range of anything I need, basically. Yeah, there's almost nothing I probably can't paint with those colors. You know, I got the strong blues, strong purple, strong red, strong magenta. You know, the only other thing I would need is like a phthalo green or something strong. So no problem. How's everybody doing? So we're about to get started here. I think I'll go with the sky. So the sky is kind of like a grayish purple. So we're gonna get some purple going, some ultramarine blue, some ivory black, transparent red oxide. Just a whole nice mixture of stuff. We wanted to have a bunch of different colors here. And it's definitely darker at the top. So this is what I'm basing my painting off of. This was a sketch I did on location for anyone just tuning in. This was a plein air sketch I did on location in August 2018 in England. One morning, this castle. It's a cloudy day, and I'm using this as kind of the basis for my colors and for the whole painting. So for anyone just now tuning in, you definitely made it in time. Thanks for joining me, Amex Jam. Nice to see you. So yeah, hopefully this one's a little different than what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of strong light, strong sunlight, and this is a little more challenging. It's more cloudy, overcast. So we'll see if I can make this happen. So here's the exciting part, finally starting here. So at the beginning, I'm gonna try to keep it loose. I don't want to get too detailed here. At the beginning, this is the part where it can be a little fun, you know. Add some nice color in there. Gonna try to keep it lighter as it goes down now. Maybe some more purple or something. So just using a little more water, cleaner brush as it's going down. So it's gonna make it a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. We'll keep some of the strong color up there. It's gonna fade off anyway when it dries. So it probably looks a little crazy. For some reason, the way, I don't know the way the light is on my thing or this camera, it just looks, it looks a little bit funnier than what I'm seeing it. So just so you guys know, it always looks a little more weird through this camera, but we just work with it. Who's my favorite painter? I don't know. Probably John Singer Sargent, a dead guy from the past. If you're talking living painter, probably my favorite watercolorist is either like Alvaro Castanet or Joseph Zbukvic. They do some great work. Learned a lot from them and their videos and stuff. But I'm nowhere near as good as they are. All right, so we got a nice sky there. I'm gonna hit the grass now. I'm gonna hit the grass now. Okay, gonna act like I didn't say that one. So the grass around England is always really green, man. So that's what I'm going for here. Nice, vibrant green. So cadmium yellow medium, a little bit of viridian, ultramarine blue, just trying to get something nice, maybe a touch of transparent red oxide as I try to make it, you know, get some variety in the foreground. So it's always cool trying to get some dry brushing like that. I really love trying to get some texture going. Just let things happen. Keeps it looking really cool, I think. We'll just let it kind of blend together. Blend together a bit. So when I paint loose like this, I'm just trying to not trying to fill everything in like it's paint by number or anything. I'm just I'm just kind of keeping it spontaneous looking, you know. And it gives it that feeling of life, like it's vibrant or something. You know, it gives it a different quality. If that makes sense, I don't know what I'm saying. So we'll get the tree going over here. Trees are usually a bit darker. Much darker usually. And we're going to let that bleed into the sky because we want it to be soft. Soft edge on that tree. Same thing with this tree over here as well. Let's see if I can get something going here for this tree. So we'll let that blend in with the ground for now, but on the next layer that I do, it will be a little bit darker. So normally with a watercolor painting, I'd have this tilted, like at an angle, like a 30-degree angle or something. And I would try to paint it from top to bottom. So I'd paint the sky and then paint the thing, like this would all be painted last because it's the foreground, it's closest to me, it's at the bottom. Usually that's something you would kind of do last. But since I'm doing a live stream like this, like I'm trying to give time for the sky to dry a little bit so that I can go and paint the building, this edge, without it bleeding so crazily into the sky. I hope that makes sense. So sometimes the process for these watercolor paintings is something, it's not a traditional process that I do for watercolor. You know, I think a traditional watercolorist probably would not do it this way. Would definitely not do it this way, I think. And I'm going to paint a little walkway here as well. Let's try to gray that down a bit. We'll get some other colors in here. So that's pretty nice looking. It's kind of cool. Might be a bit too dark, but maybe I need to darken the grass once more, actually. Probably this part will need to be darkened a bit later on. So now I'm going to hit the important part, which is this this building. So a lot of this is pretty much dry. It's a little bit damp, which is okay. It can be a little damp because you do want some kind of blending of colors. You don't want everything to be sharp edged. So if some of this bleeds into the sky a little bit, I'm okay with that. You know, if I want, I can even wet some of the sky here a bit in just some areas where I might want it to kind of bleed a bit into the sky or something. I don't know, just playing around with that idea. We'll see what happens. And so for this castle, it's like a very grayed down red brick color. It's basically what it was. And there's some like grays in there and green moss and stuff growing on this thing. So I'm gonna definitely add some of that in there as well. But we'll try to just start off with a base color here of kind of red brick color. Just mixing in some other colors now, blues and stuff. You can see it's kind of bleeding into the sky there. It's getting a little softer. Where I compared to over here where it's much sharper. And that's kind of what I'm looking to do. I want variety of like edges within the painting. Like some edges are sharp, some edges are soft, and they get lost. And that's what gives it. Oh, I went right over the window that was supposed to be a sky. Oh man, I was talking too much instead of painting. Well, once you paint over, there's not much you can do with that, unfortunately. That's a bummer. I'm not going to be able to get that sky color back. Nope. Okay, no worries. I'm going to make sure this window here is the sky color, or the color of the paper. So there's a window there that's gonna, it really makes it look cool, I think. So I'm gonna try to keep that. I'm gonna try to remember that here. So a touch of yellow ochre here to warm up some of this. Actually, as it gets closer to the ground, I'm gonna make it a little bit green down here just so it kind of goes more into the earth. Kind of looks like it's coming out of the earth a bit. So just taking my time here, but still going kind of quickly. You know, got to make sure I get it. That's the thing about watercolor is it's kind of time sensitive or something, you know, whatever the word is. You got to be aware of things that are wet, things that are dry. Did I take the photo? Yes, I did. And not only did I take the photo, I did a sketch on location of it, and that's what I'm basing this larger painting off of right now, this smaller plein air sketch. I did it in England a few years back. So I want some green up here. There's definitely a lot of green moss and stuff on the top. And I'm going to cool it off here a bit. Like I said, just trying to get a bit of variety going with colors and stuff. And I may hit this again with another layer. We'll see when this dries. It might need one more layer of color here. I know it looks really crazy right now. Everything's drying, so everything is drying to the same value right now, which is okay. So I know this is how the process kind of happens, how it goes. It's always looks a little crazy in the beginning. But once you, and actually this probably needs to be darker a little bit or something like that. I know it seems pretty crazy right now, but I can't really show the photo up close because, to be honest, it's a very small photo, and it's very hard to even see anything. But there's the photo up close, for the most part. Yeah, there's not much detail. It's like a photo from a GoPro, and the photo I was way far away from this castle, so that's only one small part of the photo, actually. The rest of the photo is the whole landscape around it. So now the foreground is pretty much dry. I could probably hit this tree over here. We can get this tree really dark. And I probably need to darken the ground again, as much as I don't want to. I probably need to. Do you hang your paintings or drawings in your house? I used to, but I don't anymore. They're pretty much a lot of my oil paintings that are framed, they're in my closet, and a lot of the other paintings are on my table right here. All the watercolors and drawings and stuff. So I think I'm going to try to hit the foreground again. See if it needs to be a bit darker. Yeah, here we go. Just trying to get it a bit more vibrant. For sure. Someone asked, plan on doing another trip and documenting it like you did when you traveled to England? Yeah, I've been wanting to for quite a while, actually. I was actually planning on it this April, this month, but I think we all know how that turned out. um, yeah, I was actually planning to go to Italy. I was gonna back in like January, February. I was planning to go to Rome for like a week and then Naples for like a week, and I was just gonna like vlog everything, film everything, paint everything. Yeah, that didn't happen. Definitely didn't happen. So yeah, hopefully I do plan on doing another trip. It's just you can't go anywhere right now, so I can't do anything. But yeah, I do plan on doing more of those for sure. I mean, that's really my favorite thing to do is take those trips and see new things, paint new things, just have cool experiences like that and be able to document it, look back on them later and stuff. Like that's the coolest thing. And hopefully the next series of videos I do will be a lot better. I'm not very happy with that series of videos. I mean, they're kind of cool to look back on, but they're kind of too long and too much stuff in them. I need to just cut them down and but yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience though, for sure. Why don't you hang your paintings? You know, if all those oil paintings, they kind of depress me, to be honest. I just have so many of them, and I want them to be gone. Like I don't I don't like owning a lot of stuff, and just having them around, it's just kind of depressing. So like I don't like seeing them all the time anymore. I used to hang them up in my old apartment, and they were all over the walls everywhere. And when I moved into this apartment a few months ago, or last year, what am I trying to say? Half a year ago, I don't want to hang anything on the walls that much at all. So it's kind of how I feel about it, I guess. So you can see how dark I'm going in this foreground, so you could probably imagine that I'm gonna have to darken the castle. I'm gonna have to darken the castle a bit. So just adding some like splattering effects and stuff. It's kind of cool. Makes it a little more cool looking to me. So I'm going to lighten up some of this tree, kind of the outer edges of it. More of the core of the tree is going to be darker. But it's really not that important because it's not really focal area of the painting. It's just like it's just there. Okay. Let's see if I can pull this off. Hello from Baghdad. Wow, thanks for tuning in. How's it going in Baghdad? It's always cool seeing viewers from everywhere, man. All right, mixing up some more color for this castle. See if I can make this look decent. It looks like it gets a bit darker towards the bottom. It looks like it's lighter at the top against the sky, so I might start at the bottom and work my way up this time. Just because there'll be more pigment towards the bottom. But as I go up, I'll start running out of pigment. I know this looks crazy, folks. It always does. And hopefully it always comes together in the end. So we just got to stay faithful here with this process and just keep going. Just keep going. That's all you can do. Keep going. I mean, what else do I have to do, you know? So we'll just keep going with this process. Just keep swimming. Exactly. Just keep on keeping on. So I'm just trying to feather it out here at the top. Just keep it a little bit lighter, more misty towards the top there. Wow, that looks really crazy on what you guys are seeing. It's definitely more neutral, more grayed down from my perspective, which is weird because usually it's not as colorful on the screen, but it's like way too colorful on the screen. Yeah, definitely does not look like that. Yeah, this camera works really well for pen and ink, but I'm finding for painting, for watercolor painting, it's very difficult to get the right values to come across or the right color on the camera, but that's always an issue, you know. Until you see the painting in person or something, it's always hard to know exactly what it looks like. But if this one turns out well, I will definitely put this up on my website for sale tonight, hopefully. And by the way, while we're letting this dry, on my website, I do have drawings up from all the live streams and all the videos up for sale on my website right now. And I also have some watercolors for sale. Some have sold. The one at the top left there is the first one I did on a live stream a few weeks ago or a week or two ago. And that one recently sold just a day or two ago. So that's really cool. Appreciate you guys supporting me that way. And you can check out all my other work and stuff. I have blog posts and everything else on my website at schaeferfineart.com. Definitely appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, check out the art I got going on there. If you want to see what my paintings actually look like. So anyway. All right, so I'm a lot more happy with these values. And once I start putting in the darks on the building, boom, it's gonna come together. That's what's gonna make this come together. I really like this soft edge up here. That's really nice. I think I could probably soften this a bit as well. Try to bleed that out or something. We'll see if that helps a bit. Could probably soften this tree as well. Maybe over here we'll soften this. This doesn't need to be hard edged at all, so we can soften this because I want the focus to be kind of this building and this doorway, so everything else can kind of we'll just soften everything else for the most part. Sizes, so all the drawings on there are 9 by 12 inches or 23 by 30 centimeters basically for all the international folks. And these paintings, the watercolors, all the live streams I've been doing, these, like this painting right now and all the other live stream paintings, those are 9 by 12, and the other paintings are a little bit smaller. They're like 7.5 by 11 or something. And then all the oil paintings that I have on there, all the sizes are listed. If you click the paintings, you can see the sizes and stuff. So I try to list the sizes. If they're not listed on there, I will update that tonight as well. I'll try to get all the correct sizes for every piece on there so that there's no confusion. All right, so we can see how light that dried. A few minutes ago, that looked very, very dark and ended up drying a lot lighter. So that's kind of what happens here. So question, how many colors do you use in your palette? So this is my palette right here. But the amount of colors I use, let's see, I got this white I don't really use all that much. It's kind of like an emergency color. So we have Indian yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't really use phthalo blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 colors. I could probably get away with 10 colors. A few of them are very just strong colors that are used very rarely. I used to use only like 7 or 8. So the kind of the newest colors that I use are this cobalt teal and the purple. Those are kind of the newest colors I've been using. The last few years I've never used those. And normally I don't really need this cadmium red, but since I have so much of it already and I barely ever use it, I might as well just keep it on the palette. Because normally I'll use the alizarin crimson. You can get a pretty strong red if you just mix it with a little bit of yellow. But it is convenient to have that. So yeah, that's how many colors I use. 10 to 11, but you can get away with, for years I only used red, yellow, blue, white, and brown. And I did that for like 5 years. Just used a limited palette. And I really suggest doing that if you're just starting out. I'm going to soften one edge of this window here. I feel like it just needs to be slightly softer. No, I never clean my palette. Never do. So if I need something to be really clean, what I'll do, like if I'm doing plein air and I need a really clean color, I'll show you guys how I clean something. So I'll take some water on my brush and I'll just wet the area like this. I'll wet the square. And then what I do is I just start wiping it off like this. And then boom, very quickly, 10 seconds, I have a little clean area to start mixing some color. So it's very easy to clean. That's why I don't really waste my time cleaning it, because a lot of the times you need gray colors like this anyway. Like most of nature is very grayed down, so you don't really need pure color usually. So let's see, is this dry? It's still pretty wet. Tree over here is pretty dry. This one's almost dry. I'm gonna try to hit that a little bit darker. Try to get these trees pretty dark now. So I'm really gonna stop using a lot of water. I'm gonna use more pigment, less water here. focus on getting a dark green, dark warm green. So usually the darkest dark in your painting, very, very darkest dark, is going to be like very, very warm, very hot. It just always looks better that way. You know, if you were to make all your darkest darks blue in a painting, it just looks a little funny. It can look a little funny. And I've played around with that for years, and I've learned that from other artists that are really, really great artists. You know, make it, usually the darkest darks are warm. And especially on overcast like this, we're getting a lot of cool light, warmer shadows. That's usually how it goes. So that looks really nice. I'm digging that. Just keep going up this tree. Looks pretty good. Try to soften this at the bottom a bit. There we go. Boom. So I like that. I like those darks. That's pretty nice. So I think, yeah, this is getting pretty dry. So now I'm going to use a smaller brush, believe it or not. I don't normally do that. I don't normally change brushes. But I think this kind of painting calls for it. So we're going to use slightly smaller brush. I'm going to start putting some darks in, because there's a lot of like cracks in this on the castle here. There's like a lot of cracks, and half of the thing's knocked down, so there's like only half of it standing up. So that's kind of what, there's a lot of stuff like that to paint. I'm also going to take a look at my sketch to make sure, because I kind of lost my drawing here. I don't really know. Underneath all this paint, I kind of lost the pencil sketch, so I need to kind of refer to my plein air sketch now. Try to figure out where some of these windows were. And we're going to keep these windows pretty loose. We don't want them to be like super square, super perfect. We just, you know, this is a castle in ruins. Even if it wasn't, I'd probably keep them pretty loose looking, but even more so now, I can be a little more suggestive with what's going on here. Which is pretty nice, pretty nice. Also, I'm just going to try to suggest like edge of the building. We can get some dry brushing going, hopefully. Some brickwork. It's kind of a darker area up here in the front, so just using a little bit of paint here, a little bit of water. Just playing around, having some fun, trying to get some texture going, see what we can create here. You want me to put the door in? Is that what you're saying? That's the icing on the cake, man. That black, that really dark doorway. If I put that in now, everybody's gonna leave. So to keep things loose like this, it's basically you put a stroke down and try to leave it. You just run with it. So we'll draw in this door a bit there. And it's very difficult for me normally to put a stroke down and just leave it there, because usually our brain always wants to tell us, oh, mess with it, it needs to be better. If you keep messing with it, the better it's going to look. And normally it's not the case. It's not really how it works. Normally if you just put it down and leave it, it's going to look more confident. You know, you can modify it here and there a little bit, but mostly you put a stroke down and leave it. See, I'm just trying to lighten it up. I'm softening things when I rub it with my finger like that. Just slightly lightening it up. Brent says, I'm so late you built an entire castle before I got here. Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much trying to. Just kind of recreating a plein air sketch from England. I don't know if you remember that one. Some people do. But so here's that small sketch, and this is where I'm at so far. I made everything a bit darker than the sketch, which is fine. It's not a big deal. What type and size of brushes do you use? Well, this is a Princeton number 16 round. I normally use this quill brush. It's number 8 quill from Princeton. There's a link in the chat there that Amanda posted for the quill brush. This is the one I've been using most of the time, and I just switched to this 16 round. Just gives me a little more control at the moment here. All right, I'm gonna put, no, let's keep going. Let's get some of these other darks up here. Might be a bit too dark. Easy way to fix that. We'll just take some off, no big deal. All right, this is looking a little crazy. There's a lot of crazy color on the building there. A little crazy. I'm going to put in this dark, very dark doorway, and then I might need to fix some other things with this building and such. We'll see what's going on here. So for this dark, transparent red oxide and ultramarine blue, maybe a little bit of ivory black as well. Just something really dark, alizarin crimson, dark and warm. So that looks kind of cool. I don't want to fill it in all the way. We don't want it to get too tight looking. Keep it a little loose like that, like that. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I think that really helped it a bit. And actually what I'm going to do, I need to soften one side of this just a bit, I think. Going with my gut here, gut instinct. Just kind of soften and lighten this one side. Don't want it to be hard edged all the way around. So it might help just to give it a little depth, like it's a hallway, you know what I mean? Maybe I can lighten up some of the bottom as well, slightly. Something like that. So yeah, that really brought it together. I think gave it a little bit of context, but I still need, I think, some darker down here. Let's try to bring this together. So this is the tough part of painting right now, is like bringing it together when it's so close to being done, because it's really easy to mess it up at this stage, and sometimes it's very difficult to bring it together. Like what can I do what's going to give it a little more clarity? For what's going on. Nah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, painting's done. Oh, I got the door in there. Everybody's gonna leave now. That's pretty much it. Okay. So it's kind of lacking dimension to me in a way. Which it's tough because this is kind of a tough perspective view of this castle, and the photo I'm using kind of sucks, so it's hard to see what's going on anyway. And I think the struggle here is the lighting, because when you have this kind of overcast lighting, it's very hard to show form sometimes. You know, when we don't have shadows coming across and really giving us the idea of what's going on. Everything is just very diffused coming from above. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling good about this though. Definitely feeling good about this. It's just that last like 5 or 10%, you know, trying to figure out like, what's it need? What can I do to help it in a way? Do you guys have any idea of what it needs? Does it need more texture here to kind of... Do we need more horizontals to kind of show that it's brick and stuff? I'm trying to figure it out. Hey Nathan, how's it going? Hey Rodri, how's it going? I need help bringing this together, folks. I can't do it without you. Man, it's already 6 p.m. I got to get off here. Yeah, horizontals, you think? Some kind of horizontal line work or something? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it needs just like maybe darken some of these windows. I think. I don't know why I did that up there. It's way too dark. I'm going to soften this. Top left of the building, hint the archer's nest. I mean, like over here, it's too much. Soften some of this. Or this. Part of me wants texture, but I like the colors. I think it might need a cast shadow on the other side of the castle to give it a bit more detention or dimension, I guess. Yeah, like over here, some kind of shadow in the ground, maybe. I mean, it's overcast, so it's hard to... I don't want to get too weird with the shadow. A few more hard edges here and there. Okay. I could see that. I think the back building needs to be darker or separated in some way. Yeah, I agree. I was trying to do that here. Maybe the front building should be a bit darker to bring it forward, possibly. Yeah, I'm debating that. I can't figure out. I tried darkening the back building and I didn't really like it. So a lot of the values are similar and maybe some of the darks added will be good. Yeah, exactly. The problem is in the photo, I'm looking at the photo too much, and even my sketch, the buildings are literally the same value. That was why it was so challenging, because I was actually painting like what I was seeing. So now I kind of have to figure out like how can I separate these a bit, because they are the building in front is in front a little bit. Can't see the reference image clearly, but isn't the building in grayish color shade? Well, the photograph isn't a very good reference. It's not a very good reference. It's a red brick. It's a red grayish brick castle. If I showed you the castle, the actual castle, like other photos I have on a sunny day and stuff, it's really a red brick castle. This is an overcast, so it is more gray like how I have it. Yeah, let's darken this a bit, I guess. Yeah, I gotta finish this one up here soon, folks. I gotta get some dinner going. But I think that kind of helps bring everything together over here. Maybe lighten it up slightly or something. Somebody says they like the pathway. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really happy with the pathway. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of this is pretty cool. I'm not completely happy with everything, but a lot of it is really good. It still needs more. I think we need some more horizontals just to really break up the color, add a little bit of texture. Yeah, it's definitely two buildings, but they're attached. It's one big castle. It's just one's kind of like this, one's in front, and one's behind. Yeah, the taller one's a bit cooler. Yeah, I mean it's hard to really mess with it now. If I add anything to this other one, the only thing I can do is make this front one darker and warmer. That's all I can do. I don't really want to make the whole thing darker. Maybe just this one edge of it, part of it. Never paint on an empty stomach, exactly. The sketch has a slight shadow on the outer right wall, same with the photo. It isn't strong, but it's there. So like this whole side, yeah. I could glaze that a bit, I think. Let's make it darker real quick. There we go. Maybe that helps it somewhat. Leave it. It'll come to you by dinner time, and post it on the Instagram first when you're done. Yeah, exactly. Missing the windows on the back building. Yeah, I got rid of it actually. I did have it up there, but I didn't want it to, it was kind of distracting from other stuff. But I could put a light window up there. There's probably some other details and stuff too, but I don't want to get too detailed with stuff on the buildings, because then it's distracting from this kind of idea that I want this to be my main idea, I think. So yeah, maybe just more tech. I think more cracks, more horizontal stuff. Let's try that. Let's do it. At the end of the day, I did my best with this one. There's not much more I can do. It was I knew it was gonna be a challenge just because it was overcast painting, like a cloudy painting. It's always a challenge, man. And I'm doing it from a crappy photo with only a painting sketch. So it's a lot different than what I normally would do on a stream like this, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Buildings seem to run together. Well, they kind of do in the photo. That's the problem. So I'm trying to problem solve and try to figure out. Let's kind of separate them here a bit without making it like super duper obvious. Because I like that subtlety. I want some kind of subtlety here. And I don't mind them running together at some areas, like softening some of it. There we go. So maybe that helped a bit. I don't know. And now I'm going to try to do, we'll do some line work here on this front facade, I think. It's too blank and barren. It needs more detail here. If that's my focal area, we need some stuff there. So let's see. We already have some kind of details here. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna look right. I'm going for it. I'm just going for it now. Also, maybe some larger horizontal areas, just to show like patch brickwork. Is that too much? Am I doing too much? Yeah, too much. Let's break this up. They need to be broken up a bit. I don't know, folks. I'm just totally experimenting. More clouds, a bit darker. Yeah, I know. I kind of don't want to mess with the sky, really. Do I give student discounts on my paintings? I don't know, but sometimes I do have sales, so maybe stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll have a spring sale soon or something. "50 years from now, when people are looking at this, every mark will seem perfectly intentional. I think it's great." Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's usually what people do, right? They look at like all these loose paintings and we think like they sat there and did every little thing so intentional. And it's like, nope, I think that's it. Someone said, I think that's it. Is that it, folks? Is that it? Maybe a little horizontals on this one, not a lot, but I think we need to have it be a little cohesive between both of them. You know what I mean? Like just something down here. Just kind of bring just kind of, you got to have a little bit of repetition to pull everything together. So maybe that. Same thing on this building a bit, maybe just slightly, not too much. So maybe something like that. Does that look good now? Does that look like a ruined building, castle building thing? Yeah, definitely overworked this one a little bit, but sometimes it's how they go. Sometimes it's how they go. Has more form now as Castle Ruins, Brandon. Well done. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, it's actually, I know what you're saying, it looks lighter. Someone said I would do that same warm glaze over the front building. Look how light it is on the side now. Watercolor dries lighter. Yeah, it definitely does. The problem is this camera. It's hard to actually show you what it really looks like. You know, I kind of like, I think I do need to darken this a bit just to give it more dimension. I think that's what you're talking about, actually. So I'm going to darken this one last time and then be done with it. Oh, that's really dark. Yeah, see how dark that? Yeah, I went way too dark there, folks. So it's all right. Yeah, let's call this one done before I ruin it even more. I mean, it is a ruined castle, so I could call this one ruined. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let me just a little dark here. And this foreground tree. Some branches and stuff. Pretty cool. Woohoo, look at that. Stuff growing. Okay. I think I'm digging that. I think I'm gonna take the tape off now. I think that's good. That's pretty good. You know what I should have done? I should have did some splattering on the. Man, I'm gonna have to try just a little tiny bit. You guys know I'm crazy about that. A little bit of splattering on the castle. I think that's really what it needed. Just a little bit of. We'll try it. We'll try it. Let's do it. This is the very last touch, so I'm willing to ruin it right now. But just maybe at the bottom. Boom. A little bit of splattering. I love doing that. It's always fun. Okay. Let's take this tape off now. Let's get out of here, man. I gotta eat some dinner. I'm really, really hungry. Really, really thirsty. It's very hot here today. I don't even know how hot. For the international folks, it was like 33, 32 degrees here today. And yeah, right now it's what? Okay, it's not gonna load for some reason. Because I'm live streaming. Anyway, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, it was very hot. Probably the hottest day of the year so far that I can remember. Okay, we're getting some clean edges. I like that. Always looks good. And there we go. Yeah, I actually like this one. I like this one, I think. So right at the end here, guys, you can see I did a little bit of splattering. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like it. It just gives it a little more. Man, look at that color. It looks awful because I zoomed in. Yeah, something with the lighting. I don't have the best lighting set up, to be honest. I'm using lamps and it's just like harsh light coming down. So this painting was based on this little one here. You can see how much lighter it probably actually was in person and how much darker I went. But that is, so you can look at the photograph compared to what I saw in real life, compared to what I painted today. And they're all different, and they're all going to look different to you guys because of the camera that I'm using. So that's what makes painting and color and all this stuff so difficult, because there's just so many different ways of seeing things. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, let me know last minute here. Other than that, this thing's pretty much done, I think. And I'm going to lighten up some of these splatters here. Just a bit too dark in some areas. Other than that, I'm happy with this one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was interesting. I know it was a bit challenging today. It looked very weird in the beginning. I was able to keep some of the softness here in some areas, so it came out pretty well, man. And you can see how it kind of focuses your eye in a certain spot. And honestly, I thought I was done. I'm never done. Why am I never done? I want more. I still want more of something. If that makes sense. I want more. I need more. Just a little bit more, not a lot of bit more, just a little bit. I just feel like I'm looking at it, I just need like texture. Need texture. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I should really put the brush down before I ruin this castle, but Anyway, let's stop. Please stop me. Please stop me. Okay. All right. Just stop. I can't stop. I gotta fix it now. Okay. I'm done ruining it. Okay. Don't know why I did all that. That was dumb. That was very dumb. Anyway, guys, have a great night, everyone. Any questions? Darken the clouds a bit on the left side as we see it, I'm telling you. Nah, man, it's good. It's all good. It's all good, I think. Anyway, next one will be pen and ink. Hopefully it'll be some fun. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace, my friends.